Whew. If I'd have known that, I'd have done that before you came on just to shut that guy up. Oh, it didn't shut him up. Without the madman chasing me, I readied myself to explore the rest of the topmost floor. Okay, I'm ready to get out of the earshot of that guy. I would have taken that piece of wood and just clubbed him over the head. Ooh, look at this creepy office. Oh, ready. Phew. Look at the bones hanging up. Got some witchy situations happening. A scent of rare... Oh, I didn't even read that. I hope you guys did. I like a game where they have that journal, you know, that publishes all the stuff that's on the screen. So if you didn't read it, you can go back and read it again. I'm going to lurk. Danny Potato Space, thank you so much. I really appreciate the lurk. From your second ACC on your tablet. Smelly Feet McGee. What? Yeah, lurk away, my friend. And you guys, Rebel's streaming. He's a good friend too, so get him tabbed up. Don't leave me, but get him tabbed up. And Smelly Feet McGee is such a funny name. He's been in here a couple times. Okay, I finally found the candles. Jerry, what? Were we looking for candles? I don't remember that. There you are, Smelly Feet McGee. Yes, best name. Best name. Oh, you guys, this is that symbol. But he's not commenting on it. This is one ornate desk, I have to say, in a very messy office. Oh, that's what you were saying. You're the same person. Oh, isn't that interesting? So how come you decided to have two Twitch personas? And with two very unique names. I wondered what bizarre things had taken place inside this room. Two Twitch accounts, but one is your bot. Yeah, that I know about. I know a lot of people do that. Yeah, look at all this creepy stuff. I think we got some witchcraft happening. She's Leandra. That's a nice name. I like that. All right, what do we got here? We got the spell book, I think. Okay, so we looked at this. No, I wasn't mentally prepared to delve into this sinister tome. Hey, I am mentally prepared to. All right, you guys. What else do we have? I finally found the candles, Jerry. I don't know what that means. Is that an Easter egg or is that something I forgot about? The candles, Jerry. I would take one of these bones as a weapon. I was watching my son play some Silent Hill F last night after I collapsed at the end of my construction job. And, oh man, that is a freaky game. I wondered what bizarre things had taken place inside this room. Yeah, clearly we got some witch situations happening. It is an Easter egg. What does it mean? What is it about? For a minute there, I was just like, did I forget something? Not that that's unusual, but still. The candles, Jerry. Yeah, tell me what that is, you guys, because I am not getting it. All right, there's supposed to be two letters in here. Here we go. Ooh, creepy language. I feel nearly drunk of the prospect of harnessing all that power. We can't stop until the mysteries have been fully unraveled. I'm ready to exhaust all my resources, sacrifice anything and anyone until our goals are met. This is the right symbol. I know it. The next step is to translate the logogram, which won't be an easy task, considering the poor state of the stone slabs. So many millennia, epochs of abandonment. But how? This finding predates any recorded history of scientific research. There's no written account of the servants, anywhere else. I'm not even sure that's the proper translation. We are completely on our own. It's imperative that we focus on the task at hand and make no compromises if we're to succeed. We may well be the first civilized and sane human beings to ever gaze into the innards of this mountain. If what I suspect is true, what awaits inside grants the means to ultimate enlightenment, the permanence of actuality at our disposal. Servants is far from an accurate word, but there's no better way to describe them with the meager information we've found. Contrary to other ancient tribes, chief among them the so-called Dalmor, who at least had a sense of purpose in keeping a vicious god at bay, the servants sought to commune with a benign, malignant entity. I wouldn't call this a goal per se, or a ghoul per se, but rather a way to exist. Oh no, I think it does say ghoul. The servants sensed, as much as their primitive nature permitted, the formidable but alluring power of the entity. To achieve the communion, these earliest beings would make use of psychoactive substances, or entheogens, as they're referred to in recent times, what is like peyote, to reach a state of genisthai, the true meaning of existence. Consider the implications of this fact. Sentient beings that existed long before any hint of our recorded history, or even any form of religion, had already embarked on the greatest quest of all, ethos, the divine within, and it could be right here beneath us. So the servant or the God is down there. Examples of entheogens include, ayahuasca, peyote, and psilocybin. Okay. It seems, as far as I can surmise, that the servants required some sort of mind shield to face the abstruse presence of the entity. So I guess it's the entity that's down there. This corroborates my other findings, yet I can't synthesize the prehistoric entheogens exploited by the servants. We lack that information. However, if shielding your mind is the key, then perhaps ... The best word I have found to describe the entity is felote. Granted, there's likely a better term for it, but I'm unable to make sense out of every glyph. The servants thought so little of themselves in the close presence of felote, that's what we're going to call them anyway, that they failed to name their race in any way. It's the supreme surrender of will, the epitome of self-hatred and shameful submission under the influence of a foreign power. Imagine for a moment the fate reserved for a culture of people that would surrender themselves at the behest of a preternatural being whose concerns were far detached from their own. But luckily, nothing of that sort ever happened. Whatever substances the primitive servants used, they didn't succeed in merging with this otherworldly visitor. Okay, so now we're back to an alien. The entire course of our history could have been so different had an inferior mind communed, and so felote still waits, forbearing as ever. Okay, felote, we're coming. Felote is wise, an entity enlightened far beyond our human condition, and also infinitely patient. He remains rooted within the bowels of our earth until the right vessel comes, and he is willing to wait another insurmountable passage of time until that happens, and he finally breaks free to traverse the geometry of our world. Time has no meaning to him. Weren't they afraid that some of the patience they shoved in there might be the vessel? Because I'm getting the feeling they want to be the vessel. Of course, a lower prehistoric species couldn't have tamed this illimitable power, but I have other means. Who is in control? That's the key. We naively think that we are in command of our lives, but the fabric of modern society shapes our fate by means of overwhelming information. Our minds begin to malfunction, and thus we surrender to the unbearable noise sucking away our vitality. A dissonance perceived even on the mere page of a newspaper. Felote also makes use of noise, but it's a different kind of disturbance. He delves deeper into your mind. We're reading a book here this morning, you guys. Something, an interference, perhaps even a physical being, manifests when you face the horror. This is the first time we've heard horror in this whole book. And yet, there is a distinct possibility that we can tame this power. The ego of man, right? Of these men. A nascent theory provides hope. The configuration of our brains is still crude, much as I'd like to believe my genes are more sophisticated than the boorish servants. Not enough time has transpired to provide our brain cells the ability to grasp the essence of reality. We're still only able to process 3 dimensions. However, Philote operates in another geometry of existence. His visual information is too much for our minds to absorb. Yet the only way to commune with the entity is to endure his presence. It must be so old, impossible to comprehend with our earthly conception of life. Philote must have originated from the time in which the very first stars formed. Perhaps he already existed before it all began! ! Ambrose was right. That's Dr. Miller, is Ambrose. He's here. The way to success resides in the primordial arrangements. In fact, the distant influence of celestial bodies may have an astounding implication during the encounter. This is too much to grasp, even for a learned man like me. There's a favorable configuration and a greater chance to prevail if the communion tables place at a specific hour, as we perceive them, in our polyhedric coordinates. If the communion takes place at a specific hour, as we perceive time, in our polyhedric coordinates. The first patterns were described too ineffable for the limited sensibilities of monotheistic religions, but our illiterate ancestors couldn't grasp how the primal instinct of a lowly species like the servants operated, seeking meaning in the simple organisms of their aeroarachnid coleopteran millipede grubs. What? And yet, the shapes of these suggested constellations don't directly correlate with the arthropods that inhabited our planet. They're grotesque caricatures of otherwise familiar outlines, as if some vital feature of their true physical forms couldn't be conveyed on the flat surfaces of these slabs. Regrettably, we don't have enough time to construct an astrolabe, and so we'll have to operate with the spare details we have available. I'm in shock. The symbol itself acts like a piece of the chart. When the position is correct, it provides the zenith of the equation. It's inconceivable that the servants themselves figured this out, so the symbol must be the vestige of some elemental language designated with a baffling purpose that our spatially impaired capabilities can't hope to decipher. The only way is to realize the encounter. This vermicular shape, I've seen it before. I'm exhausted. What about you guys? That was a lot of big words. Speaking of Harry Potter, when you start talking about that shape and the alignment and the constellations, I started thinking about, oh, okay. And then I went, oh, wait, no, that's Harry Potter where you do line up the constellations. That's not this game. All right, so we don't know what this is a picture of, I don't think. This is the object, you guys. This is the object that's in the basement. This is what fell through the floor. So then we got our symbol, we got the globe, we got some stars. That's a little constellation-y-ish looking, right? All right. We got our record book is updated. No, we're not reading that again. No way, no how, my peeps. How do we put that back down? There we go. Man, that was a lot, right? And look at this wall. It's like got all these holes in it. How did these papers and everything stay here? I don't think I'd be that wordy. Yeah, right? I mean, it seems like we could have said that in a much smaller, shorter, more concise way. All right, so here's the candles, Jerry. Now I want to play scratches just so I can see that. It was an odd-looking structure, perhaps an altar of sorts, but from where? So the entity awaits below the earth, my people. The entity awaits. I'm assuming we have a picture of this somewhere in our papers. Let's see. Find the catacombs. Now it's catacombs? Wait, give me that book back up here. I'm not finished with it. Encounters with the entity. So look, everything. Oh, that's where the symbol came from. Bertrand drew it on the floor. So now we just have encounters with the entity. We still have all our people and our stuff. Septic tank, item, and then catacombs. All right, let's go. So we think the greenhouse is up here somewhere. I'm expecting that door that said it could be a deadly dead end. I'm expecting that's where we're going. We did at least stop hearing that guy screaming, but I'm assuming we're going to hear him again now that we come through. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, I think it's going to be down here. Yep. All right, so we're looking for the greenhouse, which must be a rooftop greenhouse. We got our valve. I'm so excited for this puzzle to finally be done. Wait, what's in here? Do we know? Is this part of our little circuit? Oh, this is the movie theater. I wonder if Lenny's still in here. I don't see him. Poor Lenny. Lenny's living in his own joyful alternate reality, so I think we should just leave him to it. Poor Lenny. Poor Lenny. Probably got to go that way, but let's see what's in here. Anything in here? Oh, this is the other side of the movie theater. Very fancy. All right, we got our map. Let's see if the greenhouse is on the map now. Maybe that? It looks like it says, I think it says greenhouse. So that means we got to come all the way around. So again, we got chapel. Yeah, I guess that's the part we were running around and around. I'm not sure. All right, let's go. It didn't really help me too much. I don't want to go downstairs. I don't think. Yeah, let's go the other way. So I don't believe examine the first floor is complete. So we got the movie theater. Let me look at the map again so you can see where the movie theater actually is on the map. Yeah, that's the end. So we're at the beginning. Theater, come through the theater. I don't know where that guy is that we locked up, but obviously the game, I say obviously, I believe this is correct. Obviously, that guy is not going to, the game's not going to let us cut through that where that guy is. Oh, I was thinking this was a door we could get through. I hope Lenny's sweeping again. It is definitely a mess up here. I feel like we're just going through. I feel like we've looked at all that stuff. Piano room. Nothing to see here. Oh, wait, there is something to see here. Nope, I guess there isn't. Uninteresting shelves. It seemed like this section had been used as a storage area. Okay. Oh, here's another map. Good. Cool, 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 cool. Now, where are we? Oh, we're zooming. We're zooming. So we're just going to go down here. Here's the greenhouse, and then we're heading for the basement. I hope we can get down those other stairs that we don't have to go all the way back. We will if we have to, but it would be nice if we didn't have to. I was able to see the whole length of the once beautiful yard from this window. Looks like it's raining out there. More stairs! Okay, so that's rooftop. All right, I want to skip that. Let me go down here. Let's see what's at the end, which I think is the end. There was no way I could move all this junk on my own. It was necessary to find another way. Yeah, I think the fire chief might have a thing or two to say about that. All right, let's go. We're going upstairs to the greenhouse. Yay. Rooftop greenhouse is kind of cool. Presuming that's finally what's up here. All right, should we go the other way then? I like to see everything before we get to the ultimate. Yeah, I think this is the greenhouse, you guys. Ooh, some sort of... I mean, there's pots in here. I guess this could be a greenhouse. There were no traces of plants, just dried mud. Well, that's a trace of a plant right there, look. No amount of water could save these plants. You would think the leaky roof would have kept the plants watered, wouldn't you? Okay, well, we're definitely in the greenhouse, so now we're looking for a valve stem to put our valve on. Look at this birdhouse. A large bird cage. It must have taken a lot of work to attend so many birds. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Look, this flower's blooming. What's up with that? A peculiar flower. Well, I mean, it's like a zinnia or something, but why would it's growing and blooming. For a fleeting moment, I remembered seeing a flower like this in another greenhouse. Really? Are we supposed to know what that's about? There were no traces of plants. I guess they mean in the pots. Just dried mud. At least it isn't dried blood, right? There's another bird cage. Someone here really liked birds. Yeah, I was against having birds, or any pet for that matter, entrapped for one's pure pleasure. Broken window. Alrighty, let's get down here. This is looking mighty good, you guys. Let's go. Boom. Wind it up. Come on, wind. The valve wouldn't turn. Oh my gosh. The spigot seemed to be rusted in place. So what are we going to do about that? Alright, that stinks. The meter indicated that water was still flowing. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to turn this valve. I've been wanting to do it for the whole game. Didn't make sense to use this item here. Well, I'd bash it with a hammer if I happen to have one, but I do not. All right, well, that is some suckage right there, you guys. I was super excited. I was finally going to get to turn the valve. So rusted, we need some WD-40. I haven't seen any, or a little sledge or something. The door didn't even have a knob, and it seemed completely stuck. We do not have the capability to throw ourselves against it either. Let's take our valve, JIC, you never know. No, not that. Get away from that. Get over there. Take our valve. Man, how could we already have an ad coming? Yes, put that away. I'm just trying to pick the valve back up. I can't. Interesting, interesting. Okay, well, I don't know. Let's see. Bird cage. Empty pot. Oh. Okay. Oh, that just felt like a breath of fresh air, didn't it? Stepping out here. Really nice. The soothing sound of the waves did little to calm my anxiety. It had been long since anyone took care of these plants. I'm just looking for something to bash that valve with. I bet that in the old days, this gorgeous greenhouse was a sight to behold. I bet so too. I bet it was nice up here. I'm kind of liking the brisk feel of this. Since it's a little bit warm in here and it smells funny, I have the door shut because I thought those workers might come. But I'm just definitely feeling a little stuffy with the smell from the slat wall. Oh, look at these. Well, I can't get anything from those. I thought they might be a good place to have something stashed. Okay, here we go. Oil can. Yes, please. Alright, now we can oil up the valve. Imposing mountains encircled the forest, encircling the Institute. Alright, let's go back in. Oil up our valve. Maybe we'll let it sit while we while we take our break so that it'll have a chance. Because, you know, we all know that that's what you have to do. Hopefully, this would do the trick. Let's go. With the help of the oil, the valve turns smoothly. All right, you guys, we're down to just one thing left in our little pack, which is the keys. Oh, no, I guess we got the oil can, but I bet we don't have the oil can anymore. Let's see. Stuff. Oh, I guess we kept it so far. And the key ring. All right, sweet. I think that might be it for upstairs. I think we got to go back down to the basement now. We got to empty the septic tank. Get that thing that goes, that they drop through the floor, the mysterious piece of whatever it is. And meet the entity. But the ads are just about to run. I am going to take the break because I need to run to the bathroom and get some fresh air. I might leave the door standing open and then just close it if I hear the workers show up. We'll start making our way down, and whenever the ads start, we'll take our break. You could get some fresh air while you go to the bathroom if I had an outhouse. I could! Who knew that there was a reason to wish one had an outhouse? I will probably just go stand on the lanai for a second. I mean, it's a valid point. It's a valid point, Dragon Spawn. Okay, now we need to go all the way down. We're way up on the top, and we need to go all the way down to the basement, which probably will require us to... It would be nice if these stairs went all the way down, but I'm guessing they probably don't. I don't know that. I could be wrong. Let's check the map. So far, I kind of think we got to go to one of these wings to get all the way. Yeah, look, we're already at the bottom. And one of them, and now of course I can't remember which one. I think the female side doesn't have the stairs. I think we got to go to the male side to get to the stairs. I wonder if what's her name, the receptionist, is back at her desk. She might not know anything, but it might... Oh, here's some... Wait a minute. Was I just wrong? How could that be possible? I wouldn't mind to have a little gap with any of the characters still roaming about if we see them. Because, like, really, so many things have happened since we talked to anyone but Lenny. I'm not quite sure where we are now. We never did get to take this thing. I wanted this to be a thing we got to have. But that never happened. Interesting exploration interface. Yes, you mean like how we're roaming all over the place? We can't just go down, straight down. I've said this before, but walking around in here is definitely like walking around on Google Street View. That's the interface, really. Okay, so is this... Hold on a minute, you guys. Is this the door that was locked before? Or is this the other door? It uses the teleportation... Yeah, exactly. Yes, that is exactly right. So this is where the valve puzzle, the end result of the valve puzzle. Look, you guys, now all the pressure is off. We finally... It's taken us the whole game to do this puzzle. But we finally did it. This tube seems to indicate the water level left in what I assume was a septic tank. Let's go. Let's go. Boop. I wouldn't want to be getting all up inside. I knew there was going to be a body in here. Who knew? Everyone raise your hand. Because there's always a body floating in the septic tank, right? Always. I was just going to say, I wouldn't want to be in the septic tank of a huge place like this. Or even a tiny place, but gross. All right, let's look around. I'm not quite sure where we are, technically. I mean, that's a pretty big door. And look, then the water just stops right there. Dragon, thank you so much for hanging out this morning. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, look, here's the thing. Also, as I grabbed the curious artifact, a sense of impending doom assaulted me. Really? All right. Wait, what about the dead body? We no comment?